Hola chicos. So I thought I'd post a video here going over this 'cause I know a lot of people it is very, very difficult, and I know that because it's putting everything you kind of learned and having to decide what tense to use. And so I'm gonna show you kind of how you can do that, right? So the main thing is, remember, we've talked about with the subjunctive a lot is what's the trigger, right? So for example, here, ojalá que, this right here, that is a trigger phrase for the subjunctive. Remember, you weirdo, and that O stands for ojalá. And I'm telling you, ojala's in the present here, because it could be in the past, but I'm telling you it's the present. And so I'm going to look for terminar in the subjunctive, right? Which would be, in the present subjunctive, I should say, which would be terminate. Okay? Looking here, same thing. Here's my trigger. Es dudoso. Okay? Again, you have to ask yourself, okay, is that going to be, first of all, is it in the present tense? Yes, it is. Okay, so I know it's going to be the present. Is it going to use subjunctive or indicative? Well, it's saying it's doubtful, right? So with doubt, I use the subjunctive. And it's in the present, right? So it's going to be saque, right? All right, looking at this one here, remember, in cuanto is part of matched. Remember, we learned, and I'm going to show you guys here on a separate document. Remember, we learned about, so we learned about escapa, then we also learned about matched. Remember, all of these use either escapa is always the subjunctive. Remember, you can't escapa the subjuntivo. En caso de que, sin que, con tal de que, antes de que, para que, and aunque. Like that. And then we have matched. Mientras que, así que, tan pronto como, cuando, hasta que, en cuanto, and D is después de, sorry. No, a little bit of a brain fart there. Después de que. Okay, so escapa is always subjunctive. Always subjunctive. And the reason why is because all of these phrases, right, in case that, provided that, before that, anything that follows these is uncertain, right? Like, I'm going to bring my umbrella in case that it rains. I don't know whether it's going to rain. So that's why they use subjunctive, right? I would say, for example, I could say, llover, which would be llueva, right, in the subjunctive, because I don't know whether it's going to rain. All of these matched subjunctive if it expresses the future, because, and this makes sense, right? For example, I will move to New York as soon as, tan pronto como, I graduate. Again, that's the future. It's uncertain. I don't know whether that's going to happen. So that's why when it's the future, I got to use the subjunctive with these. But if it's not, then I use probably the past tense, right? So looking here at this one, in cuanto is part of matched. So I have to say, okay, if it's part of matched, is it expressing the future? Volaré, I will fly. So that it is the future, which means I need to use the subjunctive. So that'd be again. Okay. Same thing here. I got to look at my, I paid a lot for my ticket. And again, here's my C clause, right? I would pay. So if that's, I would pay my C clause, I know that after the C, I use the past subjunctive, right? Which would be that. Okay. So again, that's just a little tutorial.